Instagram. I'm on Facebook right now too, but I said I was going to do this. I haven't done it in so long, so I'm super excited to be here. We are going to talk about quite a few things today. We're going to talk about how to create a schedule that works for you, that also allows for you to be in flow, that also allows for you to have a, whether you want to call it a spiritual practice or a personal practice, however that looks for you, I want to help you design a schedule that allows for you time, downtime, and all the stuff that you have to do every single day, okay? So I've done this. I do this with clients all the time, especially clients that have their own businesses. We look at all the stuff that they have to do every single day for their business, for their house, for their job, for their kids, for themselves. You know, our to-do lists are never ending. And when I did a coaching course with someone, you guys probably all know she has a few books out, but when I did a coaching course with her, she said something that I've learned, over and over again. Like, we have a to-do list. Our to-do list is never ending. It's never going to end. We're always going to have things to add to it. As soon as we scratch 5 things off, we're going to get 5 things to add back to it. And so trying to complete a to-do list is almost impossible because, like, unless you just have nothing else to do, no one else to take care of, like, it's impossible. So instead of getting stressed out with trying to complete our to-do list, we want to start to create a results list. And your results list is going to consist of like 4 or 5 things that you do every single day. And generally, and I'm just kind of jumping into it, but I want to give you the gist of where I'm going with this. We want to complete 4 or 5 things a day, and we want to feel productive about it. And if there's anything else, that's going to just, make us feel better. But if we set out to do this impossible to-do list, all we're going to end up doing is putting ourselves in this cycle of self-beat up. This cycle of, I'm not good enough, I can never get anything done, I never have enough time, yada, yada, yada. We all know the story, right? So, okay. Hey, Miriam. Thank you, Susan, for letting me know. So, when we also want to develop our intuition, and we also want to have a spiritual practice, and we also want to have, a practice where we're keeping up with our health and wellness, then there's so many different parts of our day, right? We have work, we have kids, we have errands, we have, for me, baseball and dance and all of these things. And sometimes many of us are doing those on our own. It can definitely feel overwhelming. It can definitely feel like there's not enough time in the day, and we can definitely feel like we come last. But I'm here to tell you that if you don't put yourself first, and parents, stick with me because I know our mind goes to the opposite, but if you don't put yourself first, you're not really going to be your best for anybody else around you. If you don't put yourself first, if you don't make time for your health, for your wellness, for your spiritual practice, for your mental clarity, then you're going to be overwhelmed and bogged down, and your immune system is even going to respond to that. Like, you're going to get sick more often, you're going to be tired more often. So why not start to create a schedule? And of course, there's going to be a little hump in the beginning. It's going to be something new, something different, something you're adjusting to. But why not create something that allows for your wellness practice, your spiritual practice, for you to flow throughout each day instead of being stressed throughout every single day, right? So I just want you to take a second and think about your mornings. How do your mornings usually go? Or how does your day usually go? Do you wake up? Do you give yourself time? Do you set yourself up for success the night before or the day before? Do you ease into your day, or do you jump out of bed stressed? Oh shit, it's going to be another terrible day. Oh, I got all this stuff to do. How am I going to do it? I'm stressed from the moment I wake up until the time that I go to bed. And then if you are someone who's trying to develop their intuition, or you are someone who's trying to fit in a spiritual practice or a time for self-reflection, where does that fit in? If you wake up stressed and you're already, rolling the minute you get out of bed, and you want to fit these things in, and you can't because you can't find the time, then you're going to go into that self-beat up, which is the opposite of what we want. Then you're going to go into, I never give myself time. I know I should have done better. I should have, I could have, blah, 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 right? All these different stories. And don't get me wrong, like I do that sometimes too, but that's the beauty of the work that we do. We learn to recognize self sabotage. We learn to recognize when we're talking down to ourselves. We learn to identify when our intuition is speaking to us, and we learn to identify when we need to take charge of our thoughts just a little bit more. 1 second, guys. Okay, so I'm still live. I don't know if my Instagram live is going to stay live or not if I'm not constantly holding my phone, but we'll see. If it cuts off, you guys, I'm on Facebook too. So on the days where I wake up late, and I know that I should be getting up probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes earlier, I wake up and I'm tired and I'm sluggish and I'm rushing to get the kids breakfast and I'm rushing to get everybody out the door, and then my day usually will start about an hour later, and then I'm frustrated because I need to meditate. And let me tell you something, if mom is frustrated or if you are frustrated, everybody around you is going to feel it. So if you're not setting yourself up for success, then it does ripple into your family. So you could then say that you taking care of yourself, you making time and restructuring your schedule in a way that serves you is for the best and highest good of your family, is for the best and highest good of your coworkers, is for the best and highest good of your business. And not only in the energetic factor, right, where like your stress and frustration can spill over onto everybody else, but in the sense that you've created more mental space, you're thinking more clearly, you have given yourself space to let the ideas flow, to take the mental weight off of you. Because honestly, you guys, if I have such a long to-do list and I haven't written it down and gotten it out of my head or thought about how I'm going to approach my day or approach my week, then that just weighs on me, and I feel like it just drags me down, and it affects everything that I do. Like, I can be talking to you, but if I have all of these things on my mind, are you really getting the best of me, right? And my goal is always to give my clients, my family, my friends, like, I want to give you the best of me. So, all right, so let me backtrack a little bit. So when you wake up in the morning, what does your morning look like? Are you rushing around? Are you stressed? Are you running late? Do you have very little time, very little wiggle room? And how does that feel? Like, how does that feel to you? How does it feel to wake up, rush, take a shower, get in the car, go to work, like yell at the kids because they're not rushing because they want to ease into their day, send them off to school when they're stressed, you're going off to work stressed. It doesn't feel good. And this life isn't supposed to be that frantic. We are meant to enjoy our lives. We are meant to enjoy our families. Like, it doesn't have to be so negative. It doesn't have to be so heavy. But we've got to create space for that. And I hate, I don't want to upset anyone, but that's on you, babe. That's your responsibility. The way that your day goes, the way that people respond to you, the way that you respond to people, that's all on you. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of recognizing your thoughts and recognizing, your thought patterns and reeling yourself back in and checking in with your vibration. It's a full-time job when you start doing it, but it gets easier and easier and easier. And then you start doing these things on autopilot where you notice, hey, like, look at the thoughts I'm just thinking. Whoa, like, Ashley, that's not a good thought. That's not supporting you. Okay, let's shift it. How can we shift this to something more supportive? How can I pause and take a deep breath and realign and ask my higher self what I should be doing versus what my ego is telling me to do, right? So I just want you to, as we go through this class today, kind of take a mental note of what your mornings are like and versus what you would like them to be. And this whole class isn't going to be focused on mornings, I promise you that, but I do believe that a successful morning sets you up for a successful day, because the way that you start your day is typically how the rest of your day follows. So if you start your day off easy and you start your day off breathing and you start your day off quiet and you start your day off slow, and in flow, then the rest of your day is going to respond to your energy, right? If you start your day stressed, if you wake up and stub your toe and you choose to stay in that vibration, the rest of your day is going to respond to your energy. And then before you know it, the rest of your life is responding to that energy, right? And so we have the choice in every single moment of every single day to shift our energy, to change our frequency, and to change our story. Okay, so let's just start with why I chose this topic. So, as I was saying at the beginning of the class, I help a lot of my clients, even clients that aren't necessarily here for intuitive development. Like I had a client yesterday, she's a therapist and she has her own practice and she just really wants help with like business. So we were talking, and there are things that we get to do for ourselves each day. And there are things that we need to do, and there are things that are priority. And it's really hard to try to fit all of them in every single day, but there is a way. And so a couple of days ago when I announced that I was going to be doing this class, I was having one of those days where I'm like, man, everything I'm trying to fit in, it just isn't working right now. I want to start reading more. I have a couple of classes. I'm working with a coach. Like I have these things, this homework that I need to work on. And it's not working. The way I have my schedule set up right now isn't working. And I just want to tell you guys that play around with this, okay? When we get into it, like play around with it. See what works for you. See what doesn't. I've been in business, so November will mark official 6 years of being full-time, doing my own business. And I've changed my schedule. I've changed what it looks like a million times because you get to do that. Whether you work for yourself or you have a typical 9 to 5, you still get to shift your schedule around to make it work for you. This is your life. This is not anybody else's life. This is your life. And you get to design it how you want. And that starts with your schedule and how you're spending your days, right? So I realized the other day, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way I'm fitting all of this in. So this is a very professional picture I'm about to show you. It's not at all. But I sat down, I'm like, okay, I need to restructure. What does that look like? And this is the piece of paper that I got out. And so what I did first was a brain dump. And so you can do a brain dump whether you're working with your schedule or whether you're just talking, you're trying to figure out like all the things you have to do. And I really encourage brain dumps because we have so much weighing on us all the time. And so I just keep a running, I'm trying to show you guys without knocking everything over. I just keep like a running list all the time of, okay, I have this to do, I have this to do, I have this to do, I have this to do. And it might look overwhelming to other people, but think of how much more overwhelming and how much more space that takes up inside of your head. When you put it on the paper, you're like, okay, I see it. This is not actually priority, and I've been telling myself it is. This can be done in 5 minutes. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to cross it off. It's done. I've created space mentally and in my day. Right? So I've redone my schedule so many times. So last year when schools weren't in session, we didn't go to school on Monday and then we went to school like the rest of the week. So I had to shift my schedule then. I couldn't work on Mondays with my son home the way that I had. So I shifted it to doing sessions on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and just whatever. It wasn't working for me. So the other day I got out my pen, what do I have to do? What do I have to do every day and every week? I have writing that I have to do, I have stuff on my website that I have to do. I want to start incorporating a Facebook Live every week. I want to start reading books again, like every single day, not just pick up a chapter and then read another chapter 6 months later. The gym is really important to me. That's something I need movement in my body, and I need that every day. So gym or yoga every single day. I'd like to start incorporating nightly walks with my family again. It's something we used to do every night too. We have baseball practice, we have dance class, I need to clean the house, and my morning routine is really important to me. Also, meditation is really important to me. This sounds like a lot, right? It sounds like a lot to fit in, but it's not all happening every single day. The things that are happening every single day are work in whatever form it looks like that day, the gym 5 days a week, reading is becoming a priority every single day. My morning routine is important. Picking up the house, the kids, the typical things every single day. So what I do is write down Monday through Saturday. I make my own little calendar and I time block. And we're going to talk about block scheduling your whole week, but I time block. What am I doing from this time to this time? What am I doing from this time to this time? And that may sound incredibly overwhelming. Like, Ashley, I don't want to structure out my whole day. How is that being in flow if I'm writing out my whole day? Well, when you write out your day, you realize how much time you actually do have. If you can stay on task, if you can, and be a little flexible, but if you can pretty much stay on task and know that in your mind, so this is a subconscious thing, in your mind, if you know, okay, I'm getting up at 6 and from 6 to 6:45, I'm journaling, I'm meditating, I'm having quiet time for me so that when everybody else wakes up, I am more tolerable to them and they are more tolerable to me, because honestly, I'm not a morning person. But that is why I get up before everybody else. I'm not a morning person because when I do get up and I spend just a little bit of time with myself, I am more tolerable and they are more tolerable to me. And if my daughter's whining and crying, I handle it a lot better than if I would have rolled out of bed at the same time as her, right? And then when I wake up and I give myself, honestly, I give myself an hour and 15 minutes before people get up. But I don't expect everybody to do that. If you can give yourself 30 minutes before the rest of your house wakes up, or 30 minutes of quiet alone time outside of your bedroom before everybody wakes up, it will do wonders for your day, I promise. And so I get up. You guys have heard my morning routine a million times. I get up, I make my tea. Now I'm drinking like green juice in the morning too. So I drink my tea and my green juice. I journal. I'll either gratitude journal. I'll do my manifesting meditation that I teach you guys all the time, where I journal about my ideal day or the things that I want to call in, and then I sit and I visualize them. And then I just sit. I just sit. I don't look at my phone most of the time. I sit there and I just enjoy the quiet, and I enjoy my tea, and I enjoy being with myself, and I ask that my spirit team come in, that my guides, my angels be with me and available with me throughout the day to guide me, to lead me, to give me any signs that I need. And that's it. You can accomplish that much in 30 minutes and it will change your day, because here's what happens in that 30 minutes. You're making time for yourself. You are, whether you're at the point where you're connecting with your higher self and your spirit team or not, you're creating space for them to come in. You're establishing the relationship. You're telling them you're willing and ready to connect with them however that looks. You're raising your vibration just with the intention of sitting there and spending time with yourself, with the intention of meditating, whether you have a good meditation or, I say good, but a meditation that feels good to you, that feels productive to you or not. You've just meditated, journaled, given gratitude, called in your spirit guide, raised your vibration, created space for your spirit team, and enhanced your intuition, all within 30 to 45 minutes in the morning. So what else you've done in that time is, as the rest of the day goes on, you've already made time for yourself. So there's no need to beat yourself up when things start to get crazy, when work gets busy, when your boss gives you a hard time, when you have to go get groceries. Like, you've already made time for you. You've already made yourself a priority. You've started to establish a good relationship with yourself by saying to yourself first thing in the morning, you are my priority. And I promise you, the more that you can love yourself, the more that you can just make an intention to let yourself know that you are important, your boundaries will change, your relationships with other people will change, the intuitive hits that you get will change, life will flow much more easily with you. Because if we can love people as hard as we want, but if we're not loving ourselves, then we don't feel that love. How can we receive love from other people if we don't know what that feels like within us, right? So you've done all of these things within 30 to 45 minutes. Then, so here's what mine looks like. Wake up and do all the things I just told you. Then most days I try to, so mind you, I have a weird schedule where, my husband isn't home like 50% of the time in the morning. So I try to go to the gym in the mornings that he is home at like 6 or 7. If he's not home, then I'll do a yoga practice. Then I'm going to hang out with the kids, get them breakfast, get them off to school. then, it's time for me to start my day. So I'll come back at like 8, 8:15, breakfast, get to work, get ready for my day, all of that, right? And so I am lucky, I'm grateful I get to work from home. So I have a little bit more flexibility about when I have to get ready. But do you see, all of this is done before 8 a.m. So if you're somebody who's usually not even out the door until 8 a.m., you still got plenty of time. So there's that. And then I have one here, so I block it. That's everyday stuff. That's stuff that my subconscious knows is happening every single day, at least Monday through Friday. Then what I do is I'm shifting my schedule. So I prefer to work on Mondays. I really do. I prefer to work on Mondays. I like starting my week with everybody else. I like starting my week and being in the flow, and like, my subconscious knows like this is what we do. And honestly, I feel good about working. When I'm not working, I get kind of like bored and stagnant. So I like to work on Mondays. So I am shifting as of November 6th. I'm shifting my week back to clients on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And then I have my admin and my business day on Thursday. And then I've created Friday for myself because I get to design my life how I want. And I know not everybody can do that if you have a typical 9 to 5, but for those of you that are business owners, I have worked with so many business owners and even stay-at-home moms, which is always the one that cracks me up the most, because they really have so much on their plate and they feel like they're like, I don't have a 9 to 5, I don't run my own business, but I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like I'm drowning. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at every single thing you have to do. And they're like, no. Like, the moms are always like, no, I'm going to overwhelm you. And the business owners are like, no, I'm going to overwhelm you. I'm like, you're not going to overwhelm me. Let's say it out loud. Let's list it down. Let's write it down. Let's look at everything you have to do. And then they always have this huge sense of relief. I've had moms just start crying and they're like, oh my God, I do this much. I'm like, yeah, girl, you do. Now let's look at how we can make this work for you, because it's not fair for you to be a bouncy ball every single day. How are you supposed to fit in a spiritual practice? How are you supposed to have mental clarity? How are you supposed to have space for yourself if you have all these things to do and they're all over the place? So that's when we get into talking about blocking your schedule. And so for these moms and these business owners that couldn't find any time in their day and they're working weekends, now they're not working Fridays. Now Fridays are open for them, because when you write it down and you block it out and you look at it, you have a lot more time than you think you do. So what I would recommend to everybody is find, preferably first thing in the morning, but if you can't, that's okay. Find it on your lunch break, find it at the end of the day, 30 to 45 minutes at some point during the day for yourself, and then 20 minutes at night for yourself. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So anyways, I've shifted my day to where I work Monday through Thursday, and I start with clients on Monday because that's what I want to. And then, I plan for my day to go till about 4:30 when I'm working. And then I will go pick up my daughter, and then we'll play, do the walk, whatever, do dinner or baseball practice or dance, like whatever. Those things are going to fit in. I know that they're going to fit in, and I need to plan and prep for them. And there's no point in me being stressed out, because it's just going to happen. And I'm going to enjoy them a lot more if I've had a more flowy day, right? So if I am planning after my work, so I'm thinking 4:30 to 7:30 is going to be family time. It's going to be dinner. It's going to be practice. It's going to be walks. It's going to be all of those things. And then I get the kids to bed around 8:30. So here's where the challenge comes in. Because if you're anything like me, then at the end of the day, you don't have a lot of brain power left. There's not a lot of things that you want to do. You don't necessarily want to sit down and meditate. You don't necessarily want to fit in your workout now. All you might want to do is sit on the couch and binge watch you and see, who he's going to go after next, right? So this may not have happened this past week. But there still should be 20 to 30 minutes before you go to bed. Let's say 15 to 20 minutes before you go to bed. That's just for you. Where you get out, if you're working on manifesting more money, if you're working on connecting with your spirit team, if you're just working on connecting with yourself, give yourself 15 to 20 minutes before you go to bed to write, why am I grateful for money? How did money support me today? If you're somebody who's working on manifesting. Thank you, Spirit Team, so much for showing up in my life today. Maybe I couldn't see you, maybe I couldn't hear you, but I felt supported. And here are the ways that I felt supported. When you start like writing these things down, like you may have been going throughout your day and been so stressed, but when you start writing and you get into that vibration of gratitude, you're going to find things to be grateful for. And the more you find things to be grateful for, the more you raise your vibration. The more you raise your vibration, the easier it is to connect with your spirit team. So do you see, like, you don't have to have 2, 3, 4 hours every single day or stress yourself out every day about your spiritual practice. Your spiritual practice begins with you. 100% begins with you and the relationship you have to yourself. So if you start tuning in and creating space for yourself in the morning and at night, just acknowledging yourself, think of all the space you're going to create for spirit, right? So I have all these crazy things I have to do. But you know what, you guys, like, I think of all these things that I have to do, and I don't even take the weekend into consideration when I'm looking at all the things I have to do, right? Except for maybe cleaning the house. If I want to deep clean the house, that's going to have to be a weekend thing, because you may look at me and think, well, you're home all day and, like, you work from home and you have your own business. It's not like that. It's really not. Like, my schedule, like I said, I'm by myself 50% of the time. So I'm taking care of the kids by myself. I'm doing practices. I'm doing daycare. I'm running a business. I'm working with clients. I'm helping my clients. I'm responding to them on email. I'm responding to them on text messages. I'm sending them voice messages. I'm so available for my clients all the time. But I do have boundaries, right? Like, I know that around like 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, like, I have to shut it off because now I have to be present for my family. So I really don't have the time that a lot of people think that I do. I have the same amount of time as everybody else, right? I just am very disciplined, and I know that my spiritual practice and my time spent with myself is a priority for me. It's a priority because when I don't do it, even though my husband doesn't meditate and he's not into the spiritual stuff, he will be the first one to be like, babe, you need to go meditate right now. Like, everybody can tell if I don't take that time for myself. And when I was out, when I had my surgery and everything, I wasn't the most pleasant to be around because I wasn't doing the things that fill me up. Even though I was sitting there all day, I couldn't do much. I wasn't doing the things that filled me up. And so that was noticeable. I felt in my energy and to everybody around me. So understand that, time with yourself is healing. Time with yourself is healing for you. It's healing for the people around you. It builds your relationship with your spirit team. If you want to connect with your spirit team, if you want to connect with your guides, if you want to get that inner guidance and learn to trust the guidance that you're given, if you want to sit down in a meditation with the intention of receiving a message, well, how do you expect to receive that message if you have not created the internal space? The internal space is mental space. The internal space is internal healing, letting go of blocks, letting go of things that are holding you back. And it's not that this is all going to happen overnight, or you're bad if you don't, do the healing work that's painful, whatever. Like, it's just about creating space. It's about giving yourself permission to love yourself, even if you don't know how to do that yet. Like, I can teach you, my blog can teach you, there's plenty of other people that can teach you, but it's giving yourself permission to love yourself even if you don't know how. And that starts with just giving yourself a little bit of space in the morning and a little bit of space at night. And so, when you create this space, it creates a space for spirit messages to come through. So if you want to, here's a perfect example. My client that I was talking about, she's not even like she's not really interested in developing her psychic senses or anything like that. She just wants to have inspired action. This is huge, okay? We'll go back to the schedule in a second. This is how your intuition can show up. And this is like a great way for me to explain to people that intuitive coaching isn't all about becoming a medium. Intuitive coaching isn't all about learning to see your spirit guides. That's just a really cool thing that comes along with it. Inspired action comes when you are available for intuitive messages. And so her thing was, I've built this practice, and my practice it's thriving. I'm doing really good, but I wake up a lot of the times and I have all these things to do and I don't know what I should focus on. And then I get overwhelmed, and sometimes I just do nothing. Sometimes I do, a little bit of this or a little bit of that, but this is my business. And I feel like sometimes I'm drowning in it. Though I love it, I don't have the direction that I need. And I can help her find the direction. I can't give her the direction on things in her own personal business that she needs to be doing. But I can teach her how to tune in so that she can get the direction, right? So I said, okay, so when you wake up or when you have a meditation and you come out of that meditation and you feel like, oh, I didn't get anything, it wasn't a good meditation. And so this is another point. So many clients come to me and they're like, it wasn't a good meditation. Nothing happened. I didn't get anything accomplished. I didn't hear any messages. I only saw purple. I only saw this. I only got tingles. Okay, first of all, those tingles, the purple that you see, the colors that you see, that's your first sign that your intuition is opening up and that your guides are near you and that they're ready to connect with you. That's a really, really good thing. The next step is to learn how to continue your practice, because it is a practice. You want to keep showing up for your meditations. Preferably, and this is off subject, you want to show up for your meditations around the same time and in the same place every single day, because it starts to create this like energetic vortex and a subconscious signal within your mind that says, when we sit here at this time, it's time to relax, it's time to open ourselves up, it's time to meditate. And so your meditations become easier and easier and easier the more that you show up and the more consistent you are. It also, I can feel my head tingling right now, it also creates a space where as soon as you sit there, your vibration is going to raise. And so your guides, your angels, your spirit team, they have to kind of like drop their vibration and you have to raise yours, and you guys have to meet in the middle to be able to connect. So if you're showing up consistently and you don't have expectations, but you have the intention that you are available to connect, and you say, guides, angel, spirit team, I'm here, I'm willing and open to receive, I'm available to connect, would love to hear messages, please show me your way, please show me the steps that I need to take throughout my day, and ask for a sign, and ask to get that sign in the next 72 hours. I'm covering a lot here that I've talked about before and that's in a lot of my courses. But anyway, so when you have this meditation and you come out, and this is what you said, I come out of meditation and I just feel like, oh, I could have been doing this instead, I could have been doing this instead, I could have been doing this. You guys, time in meditation is not wasted time, ever. Ever. Whether you have your own business or not, time spent in meditation is not wasted time. It's productive time. It's your field work, okay? It's the work that you need to do to slow down, to create space, to hear yourself clearly, to get the guidance that you need, whether you got it in that meditation session or not. It's the time to allow your creative juices to flow. It's a time to let everything just slow down, so you can hear and see what you need to be doing, so that you can gain clarity on all these different things. So you can see like this isn't priority, or this is priority. And so your intuition speaking to you isn't always, Ashley, you need to get up and now you need to do this, this, and this. It's usually not like that. It's more like you're sitting in meditation and all of a sudden, oh, what if I just handed this over to this person? This would be so much easier, and I could delegate this, and I could let this go, and I could get this done next week, and now I feel so much more relaxed. That is your message, and that's how your intuition comes through. What I teach people is how to recognize when that's coming through so you can build on it, so you can get it more readily, right? I teach people how to understand when their intuition is speaking to them, how to understand how it speaks to them, and how to tap into it a little bit more. So my client's talking about all this and how she didn't have a productive meditation, and I'm like, well, okay, but what happened following that? Inspired action, and I explained this to her, feels like you're just doing something and all of a sudden you have an idea that hits you and you know you got to do it, and there's a pull that you got to do it, and you just feel it. And it also feels like when you're working on a project and you're in flow and hours have passed by and it feels like minutes. Inspired action feels like you're gut is telling you you have to do it and you have to do it now. Inspired action is having to talk yourself out of doing something that you want to or know that you should be doing. That is what inspired action feels like, and that is your intuition speaking to you. Inspired action or inspired guidance, inspired next steps is your intuition speaking to you. So the more you hone in on your intuition, the more you're going to be able to pull from that more readily and more often, right? And then also knowing that when you go into meditation, it's productive because it is. It's productive because it's time spent with you. It's productive because of all those things we talked about a few minutes ago, how you're creating space, raising your vibration, telling your spirit team you want to connect with them. That is productive. But it's often after the meditation that the intuitive hits come in, especially until you learn how to, receive those messages consistently, which again, I can teach you. I can teach you how to do that in private coaching, and I can teach you how to do that with my intuitive development course. Actually, my Rise and Shine packages are like the best way to go because you get private coaching with me, you get the intuitive development course, you get the mediumship course, you get another course that I have, and this like really deep transformational session. So if you really want to learn how to do this, that's the best way to go. And there's a payment plan and all of that. But what I'm saying is inspired action is your intuition talking to you. And when you come out of meditation feeling like, I just sat there, like think of it as that was productive. That was your field work. That was you getting out in the field and doing what you need to do for you, for your business, for your job, for your family. And if anything else, like that was you being productive. But I promise you that if you sit there and you continue to show up consistently over the next day, or I would even say 48 hours, 72 max, if you had a question and you really sat there and you really had the intention and you really trusted that there's guidance available for you, it's going to come. It's going to come out of thin air. You're going to know what to do. You're going to have that inspired action. You're going to be guided. Somebody's going to say the exact thing that you needed to hear, the exact, ad or whatever is going to be placed in front of you. It'll happen. That is your intuition, okay? It doesn't always happen the way that it does for mediums, where I can like tune in for somebody and channel and see what they need, but it can happen for you. You just got to know what you're looking for. You just got to know how to receive it and how to know when it's coming for you. And so same thing, just a little side note, if you want to ask for a sign from spirit, ask for something pretty specific to you and then give your spirit team 72 hours. That way you know within the 72 hours you're giving them time to work their magic, right? They got to move and shift some things around, but anything beyond that you're going to think is coincidence. So keep it like 72 hours. So, okay, so let me see what else. We talked too about, the more that you create the schedule that allows for flow, and I'm going to tell you how to create the schedule in a second, I promise. The more that you create the schedule that allows for flow, the less stress you have, the higher your vibration, the more ease and flow you have about your day, and just those three things alone are going to raise your immune system because you're going to start to eliminate stress. You're going to feel better. Before I started doing the work that I do now, I used to get sick all the time. I know you guys have heard me say this before, but I used to get sick all the time, like cold, flu, like weird little things that nobody else got because my vibe was pretty low. And I was always stressed. I was just always in fight or flight mode. And so naturally my body's in fight or flight mode too, right? So when I learned to raise my vibration and I started meditating and I started asking for guidance and help, all of that shifted. I stopped getting sick. I literally would get sick like once or twice a year. And when I did, it really wasn't that bad. I also stopped getting random bills in the mail and I would get random checks, like all those things that they talk about on like the manifestation, in the books or the movies or whatever. Those things are real. When you shift your frequency, when you shift your vibration, your whole world shifts. The way people respond to you shifts because the energy that you're putting out about what you are willing and are not willing to deal with, that shifts and people respond to you differently. And so I noticed like people in my workplace were treating me differently. I noticed that people were treating me with a lot more respect. And do you know why? Because before I started doing this work, I don't think I had a lot of respect for myself. I certainly didn't love myself. I didn't know that spending time with myself was important. I didn't know that looking at myself in the mirror and actually liking who I saw was important. And so the way that all of that shifted for me was I started raising my vibration. And so as I started to respect and love myself, other people started to do the same. Uh-oh, my computer's going to die soon. Okay, we got a little bit. Okay, so here's how we create this schedule, you guys. If you have a pen, this will be a good time to get it out and use it. So we talked about, like, here's some really important parts for you to remember. How does it feel in the morning when you wake up? What does your day feel like? How's your morning go? Are you rushing around? Could you make more time and space for yourself? Meditation is not time wasted. It's whether it's a good meditation where you get a ton of channeled messages with your spirit guides, or you just sit there for 15 to 20 minutes. It's not time wasted. It's productive time. And time with yourself is healing. It allows for better interactions, healthier body and mind, stronger relationships. Creating space for you, create space for those spirit messages that you want to come in. It gives you a chance to raise your vibration and to be your best for yourself, your family, your friends, and your immune system. So when we start to tune into our intuition, we start to identify, like I said at the very beginning, and I feel like that's a whole nother class, about where are our thoughts going? What are we thinking? Are those thoughts productive? Are those thoughts hindering? Are those thoughts supportive? Are those thoughts holding us back? And when we can start to tune into those, we can say, oh, like, Ashley, why did you just kick yourself while you're down? You're doing your best. Like, you're showing up, you're doing your best. So why don't you just take a breath and realize, like, okay, I still got this. I can shift. I can move. You know, like, we get so hard on ourselves. And that's what I don't want for you guys. So when we start to create a blocked schedule, we know that on Monday we're doing this, on Tuesday we're doing this, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we're doing this, okay? So for a lot of parents and moms, or just, I mean, any adult really, like, we have laundry to do, we have food prep, we have shopping, we have all of these things. What if instead of floundering and trying to fit everything in on every day, you know automatically that Monday is baseball practice. So Monday, I'm not going to try to do groceries, or I'm not going to try to do laundry on Monday because Mondays are busiest enough. So Mondays, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do my morning routine that supports me. I'm going to fit that in first thing in the morning. Then I'm going to have some kind of easy dinner made, whether I made it on Sunday and I have enough leftovers for Monday, or whether it's, you know, not the healthiest of dinners or whatever. I'm going to set myself up for success on Monday because I know that Mondays are busy for me. So we're going to set that up for Monday, right? We're not going to try to do laundry. We're not going to try to do groceries. If we do groceries, then maybe you want to be somebody that orders their groceries ahead of time and picks them up on the way home from work. Whatever works for you, okay? And then Tuesdays. I know that I don't have so much going on Tuesdays, so Tuesdays I'm going to plan that, you know, Tuesday nights I can do laundry, and Tuesday nights I'm going to watch one of my shows while I fold the laundry, and then I'm going to go journal and read my book, right? Wednesdays, and I'm considering people that have 9 to 5, so if you have your own business, this will look differently for you. Wednesdays, same thing. Wednesdays, I know that I don't have as much going on, so I'm going to plan on cooking. I'm going to cook a big meal because I know that Thursdays we have dance class, so I'm going to make a good meal on Wednesday, so I know that Thursdays are going to be easy for me. I can do the same thing. I can do laundry on this night. I can clean a little bit this night, and then, you know, I can make space for a family walk, and then when the kids go to bed, I can fold laundry. I can watch 1 or 2 shows, and then I can create 20 to 30 minutes for myself at night. Not stressful. Do you see, like, instead of I need to go to the store this day and I need to go to the store this day, I still need to make dinner. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Like, it's so much easier to just plan ahead. This is the day I do laundry. This is the day I shop. This is the day I clean the house. Does that make sense, you guys? And then for people that do have their own businesses, if you have clients, what does that look like for you? I used to try to, like, take a client, post, work on my website, take 2 clients. it was really stressful and I felt like people weren't getting the best of me. So I started Mondays, Tuesdays, maybe half a Wednesday I'll do clients. Wednesdays, Thursdays, I work on my website, I do my admin stuff, I write. Those are my creative days. So I have days where I'm in my zone of passion, my zone of focus, which is working with spirit and helping people with spirit and helping to channel for people in whatever way that they need that, even if it's for their own businesses. And then the other day, I'm in my zone where I'm a little more grounded, I'm more in my creative space, and I don't have to flip flop back and forth. Let me tell you, it's a game changer. It changed everything for me. So, what I would recommend, here are the steps. Write down everything that you do every day, everything you want to do, and everything that you do every week. Create yourself a little calendar. Block off different times and be realistic, but push your comfort zone a little bit. We're all about pushing our comfort zone here. We don't grow, right? So push your comfort zone a little bit. Can you wake up 30 minutes earlier? Or can you find time on your lunch break? Can you maybe not binge watch 3 or 4 shows and watch 1 or 2 shows and give yourself a little bit of time at the end of the day? And maybe instead of sitting on Instagram or Facebook or whatever for 30 to 40 minutes, can you cut that in half and give yourself a little 20-minute window there? There are things you got to do, you guys, but you got to take action. You got to get a little bit uncomfortable, and you got to be honest with yourself. You got to face the facts and take responsibility for how your life and things are responding to you. And I know that's uncomfortable. The first time I heard it, I was like, it's not me, it's everybody else. But it wasn't. It was me. Because as soon as I shifted my energy, shifted how I talked to myself, created space for spirit to come through, my whole life changed. So, okay, I'm going to look. I think my computer's going to die and see if I have any questions. But so if you guys are interested in the Rise and Shine package, it's for people that are ready to look at their patterns, see I've had all these patterns, I've had these same types of people, I've had these same types of situations happen my whole life. These are just the cards that I was dealt. I help you identify those patterns. I help you shift those patterns. I help you break those patterns. I help you learn how to love yourself a little bit more. And then, like I said, life starts responding to you a lot differently. People start responding to you a lot differently. I teach you how to know when your intuition is speaking to you, how to find that guidance, how to flow with that guidance, and how to access that guidance a lot more easily and naturally and when you want to versus when it just comes to you, right? So I teach, if anybody's new here, I teach people how to tap into their intuition. I teach you how to harness that intuition. I teach you how to manage your energy if you're an empathic person. And I teach you how to just flow with life. Like, life gets so much more beautiful and so much more easy when you realize that you're in flow with it and you realize that you have this guidance system available to you. You just got to know how to access it. And we all access it a little bit differently. So, okay, I hope that was helpful for you guys. Let's see. Oh, hi, Devin. I've had so much depression lately. My poor. Oh, Devin, that is really hard. When someone you love is depressed, it's incredibly hard. And I actually have an article on this because the best thing that you can do for them is to maintain your vibration. The best thing that you can do for them is love yourself a little bit harder, because as I've learned, whether it was my intuition or shifting my life or my own depression or someone I love's depression, when I'm trying to preach or when I'm trying to tell them what they should be doing, they don't hear it. Our energy speaks so much more loudly than our words ever could. So if you can learn to focus and love yourself and work through your depression, and I know that it's such a hard thing to do, right? Like, I've been really, really down in the trenches before. And if you want to talk, please feel free to shoot me a message and I'll do what I can to help you over Messenger, or we can book a session together. But it really comes down to when we're depressed, there's something in us that's trying to escape. There's something in us that's trying to heal. And we got to look at it. We got to be willing to find that and know how to find it. And once we do, it's like we just start pulling all of these like different things out of the box, right? And we're clearing all this space and things get better and better. And so I know that his energy might be hard for you, especially if you're already dealing with depression, and then he's deep in it. There's a lot of heavy energy there, right? So it helps to learn how to tune in to your own energy, how to send love out while not taking other people's energy on. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. Hey, Olivia. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad your guides wanted you to hear this. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at the comments, you guys. Hey, Dolly. We're out of bed like 2 minutes around. Oh, yeah, Rose brings up a really good point. So I do that too. In the morning before my feet even hit the floor, I set my intention for the day. Like, what kind of day am I going to have? What are my intentions for the day? How do I choose to be? And I say like 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. Hi, Caroline. Hey, Cynthia. All right, you guys. Well, that's all that I have for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. It was so good to be back. And I think I made it just in time for my computer to cut off. I need to establish a better system next week. So I love you guys. I am here for anybody that needs me. And again, you guys, Rise and Shine is the best suggestion I can give you to really start to develop, understand, and work with your intuition. You get me privately. You also get my courses that are going to help you and give you the foundation and the understanding for everything. There's a payment plan with that too. But I still do have a couple of, I have my 3, 6, and 12-month coaching packages available. And of course, the intuitive development course is always available. And I think I have space for like 4 more coaching clients until like a couple months into the new year. So, all right, you guys, I love you. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me.